Welcome to another mod spotlight. This one is called Chunk by Chunk. This is a mod that is kind of a new experience on the Skyblock idea. So here's the starting location. We've got a 16 by 16 chunk, and that is all is in the world. So if we look down here, you can see we have the entire chunk in the world. And the aim, I guess, as you start off the world is to go all the way down to the bottom of the chunk. We just take a look at what is over here, right at the bottom of the world. You're going to see we're going to find a chest. And inside the chest is going to be a world core. And this is the crucial way to get more chunks to spawn. So yeah, so in a world like this, I guess you would probably want something that can dig down a lot, because it really is quite a long way down, especially with the new build height. Alright, so let's just take a look at the world core and see what it does. We take a look at it, it doesn't seem to have a right click interface, and that's because it's mainly a crafting ingredient. So the first thing you're going to want to turn it into is going to be the World Forge. Okay, if we take a look at the World Forge now, you can see it has a slot here, and what we can do is if we put dirt in here, for instance, cobblestone can go in there as well. It goes a little bit slower. Let's just check out well, you can see that you're creating these world shards. And you can see we've got world fragments. It's 4 for each one, right? And for this, we can make those into world crystals and more world cores. So essentially, you're going to end up by putting a lot of cobblestone, a lot of cobbled deep slate. So essentially, you're going to need to put in a bunch of materials to get your world fragments. And it's going to automatically convert it to the level up in the World Forge. So essentially what that means is eventually you're going to end up with a bunch of world cores. And here's where you actually start to generate additional chunks. So we look at the chunk spawner situation. We have chunk spawner and unstable chunk spawner. So we take them, chunk spawner and the unstable chunk spawner. So we take a look at what these things do. So the chunk spawner is made with copper, and the unstable one also copper, but also a bit of redstone as well. So with the chunk spawner, we can place this adjacent to an empty chunk. Let's say placing it there, and simply right click on it. And that's going to just create another spot of the chunk in exactly the same location. So this is going to create what would be here normally in the world. So I could do that again. But if you use the unstable one, it's going to basically take a chunk from randomly from the world and just put it in there. So you see, that's just like a random chunk that got in there. So we just got a plains, which is at a much higher Y level. It's certainly like important to check out the randomness of this. There's some turtles. So actually pretty useful to use the unstable one if you want to have like a big variety of different chunks around. So what else can you do? Well, you can actually choose which chunk you want to spawn. So it might be a bit more useful than this, and that is with world cores and clay, copper and sand. So for instance, if I wanted a Badlands one, let's see if I can place it. I'm trying to think where that might be. I think that one might work. Let's see this one. Yep. So obviously there will be different heights and stuff. That is the Badlands one. Jungle chunk as well, maybe. And it doesn't matter what height you place these things at. Yep, it's just going to give you. It's going to find out its own height from wherever it wants. And yeah, and all these chunks are going to have world cores at the bottom anyway. But obviously, you can synthesize them if you can put a lot of dirt or cobble deep slate in there. We also have this item, the World Scanner, which is World Corner Compass. The World Scanner, I'm just going to try maybe, let's put in some stone. So we're going to scan for this, and we're going to put in a world core to scan. And what you'll see, it's basically looking through all the chunks, and essentially, if an item is common, it is white. If an item is uncommon, it is black. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool mod though. Like, you can spawn in new chunks, you can choose which chunks they're going to be, and just do a lot of fun stuff with that. So, until next time, thanks for watching.